how are you all? I am Mona Lisa Joshi. I am the founder and director of a contemporary publishing house called Chrysanthemum Chronicles. And today I'm back again with season 4, episode 1. And I have an interesting guest with me who recently got released her debut novel, Songs from Then. And I also got the chance to witness the amazing launch that she did. It was really wonderful. The aesthetics, the ambience, everything. So I'm going to talk a lot about her book and everything about in between her journey and her personality as a writer. So let's welcome Promira Banerjee. Hi Promira, how are you?
Thank you. I am very well. Thank you, Mona Lisa. It's been such a lovely, I think, tit tat that we're doing, and I've been following you for a while, and it's been so amazing that you bring up this such amazing talk, and knowing the author by itself that reflects in the book, I suppose.
Absolutely. And I'm really honored to have you, and especially for episode 1. I feel really happy that you accepted the invitation and we are started. We have started, and it's really, let's see how it goes. And the show rocks like the earlier episodes in the season, really, did wonder. So I'm thankful to all those who came previously in my earlier episodes. And Pramila, let's begin the chit chat, the fun session, and also some Q&A about your book and about
Done.
your journey. So
All set.
I was going through your profile and I was noticing that you have this is going to be about your personality. We will come later to your book. So you've written that you were born in Bengal and a Tamilian by choice. Now this is
Yeah.
something interesting I want to know. Tell me more about it and also about your early years, your education, everything.
Okay, so I was born in Kolkata, but my midway my parents had moved to Pondicherry, and then I moved back to Kolkata, and I was studying in Modern High School, Kolkata, and so when I was 21, you know how Bengali mothers are very compelling and be a call kind of a thing. So yeah, they're very typical, So my mother was like, oh, you're 21, you've completed your graduation. What do you want to do? I said, you tell me. She said, get married. I said, okay, then you find the guy. So because we were not very, I was very particular about what I wanted. I said that therefore I can't compromise on my freedom, and I like to travel. So first thing first, you have to see that I gel with that person. So they apparently had got an alliance from my neighbor, who happened to be a Tamilian, an Air Force officer. So they liked him. I said, okay, you like him, right? So that means I don't have to deal with the other part. So fine, let's go for it. Back in those days, we did not have like dating apps, or we didn't have mobile phones. So his father came to see me because we were going through Op Parakam in the Kargil part. So they liked me, and I was like, okay, fine, and then we just got married.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what about your solo travels? You have written that you have been part to Europe. So that was your solo travel or with your husband?
Oh, never with my husband. How can I ever travel with you? You can never do good trips with your husband. So my solo travels began, I think, close to the similar time I started writing my books. I think that gave me an insight of what I wanted to do. So this was a very turbulent time because I suffer from bipolar disorder.
Okay.
I wanted to understand what was going inside my head. My children were young, and one thing led to another. So Europe always had my curiosity. So that is when I started traveling. So in the first travel that I made, I saw about 7, 8 countries, and then the other. I mean, it kept on happening. So each time I went to each country, I brought back a part of myself. Very different from I kind of it was like rediscover yourself that I was capable of this. So yeah, so I did a lot of solo travels. I finally completed the entire European continent, apart from, of course, UK, because by the time Brexit happened, then I did a lot of East Asia, Southeast Asia, and a bit of Central Asia.
Okay.
So
So was it really difficult because you said your children were small? So going, like on a solo travel and also leaving your children behind. And also, did you get any, perspective towards what you have written in your book?
okay, so my children, I don't know. I think they were very fiercely independent,
Okay.
and I think my husband and me, we had this understanding that if we wanted to raise independent children, then it is primarily, it's a very important thing that they respect that the mother is independent, and she has a life apart from just being a mother.
Right.
So therein began my journey, and kind of did a good amount of traveling. And perspective, yes, like I back in those days, I think the first time I met this lady, it was in Paris. She was a genocide survivor who had
Okay.
taken refuge. So she inspired me to a bit, like to a
Hmm.
large extent. And the fact that you're in a foreign country and you're talking in your mother tongue to another individual, I think that is, I think, very, very an amazing moment for me. So talking in Bangla with another fellow Bengali and relishing the conversation, and then she told her parents. That also has a lot of influence of how I perceived the whole thing. Yeah.
Okay. So I also read in your profile that you work, like you were just saying that you have suffered from bipolar disorder. So you tend to write towards those issues like OCD, PTSD. So I really want to know that how closely have you seen these issues and how much challenging it was for you? And do you really want to, further continue to write on these topics? Or this book has everything covered?
Uh, this book is got issues, but bipolar disorder, like many people may not understand. First and foremost, people don't understand mental health.
Hmm.
They used to perceive it as a taboo,
Okay.
and I think it still happens. It still lingers in the society, but it's opening up. So as a child, being different, because I used to have, it's a mood disorder.
Yeah.
So I used to go through long periods of depression and long periods of hypomania, which is basically ecstasy. So people
Okay.
don't relate that how is this person changing from. So they used to call me unstable,
Okay.
right? But there are so many people in the world who are going through the same thing. They don't know how horrible this place is in the mind is, because
Hmm.
you're all set and then suddenly you have this place where you feel hopeless, whereas I used to feel I'm doing fantastic job and I'm doing a fantastic whatever I was doing very good. I was very good at it, but and suddenly I used to sink into depression, and that wasn't very nice. That used to make me feel hopeless. I tried to commit suicide a couple of times. Um, it needs to be spoken with, and OCD comes with it because you are so skeptical about everything around you that obsessive compulsive disorder becomes a
I
part
also
of your
suffer
life.
from OCD. I do have.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can
so I'm
understand.
being, yeah, so I'm medically treated for it, and
Hmm.
it's come down quite a bit. So one of my psychiatrists, when we were in posted in Trivandrum, at Dr. Jayaprakash, had told me. So whenever you have these bouts of OCD,
Hmm.
just tell yourself, this is not me, this is my mind playing.
Okay.
So this mantra really helped me. So when I would say, like, have these obsessive thoughts that it wouldn't go out of my mind,
Hmm.
I would just say this and really help me calm down and give perspective. Yeah.
Okay. And writing also helps, I hope.
Yeah, I have been writing. I think since I was very little. I was very young when I started writing, and my mother used to say, in Bangla, "তুই মিথ্যাবাদী সব এগুলো কি what are you writing?" I said, but all stories are lies, in some way.
Hmm. Hmm.
We're all creating things. So, but yeah, I started writing, and I found that writing is cathartic because you're able to pour out your feelings. and those
Absolutely.
feelings need to be, and it doesn't stay in your head anymore. So yeah, it is very cathartic.
Okay. So, do you have any other published works other than this, like anthologies or something? Because you have written that you were also a ghostwriter. So, what kind of ghostwriting you
Yeah,
were
I
doing?
still. So there was one I worked on this person where I'm not, there's an NDA signed, so I will not delve much into it.
Okay.
It was a self-help book,
Okay.
and one was a short story which was made into a script,
Hmm.
and the third one was about this again. This person was also suffering from schizophrenia
Okay.
and wanted it as a memoir. So I have written that too. So I can't get into more details because of the NDA
Hmm.
sign. But they would send me voice notes, and this particular person, he used to send me voice notes in these worst times. So we met at a support group.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I guess down the line it might have also helped you to calm down your, the challenges that you were facing because you saw that there are other people also out there, you know. So did it help you?
Of course, it did. It did. But writing this book had started in 2008.
Mm.
I had started writing this book about in 2008, and through my sanity and insanity, I had gone through different phases. I have deleted this work at least twice, and I started
Okay.
restarted again. And but
So
yeah, I did.
took some 15 years you have said, and
Yes.
you deleted it and then you started it. So did the story change in between, or it was in your
Oh,
mind
so
and
many times. No, no, no,
okay.
no, no, no. It changed quite a bit because you see what happened was that when I started writing it, I was about 29, right?
Okay.
And I'm 45 ish. I'm 46 now. So
Okay.
me as a person, as a girl, as a woman, I have grown simultaneously. So when I used to check back, I did not find any relation to that person, which also clearly states how I've grown as a woman. What
Hmm.
I thought very relevant at that point in time was
Hmm.
very irrelevant and inconsequential when I see myself at 46 or what I read at 46. So those
Okay.
parts also had to change.
Okay.
I think I was building myself again.
Hmm. Nice. Now let's talk mainly about your book, the novel,
Okay.
Songs from Then. So firstly, I want to know why you have chosen this title.
I haven't, honestly.
Okay.
So I'm a part of this historical fiction group,
Okay.
and when it came to this point where I wanted, what am I supposed to give a title? Somebody just suggested this name. She was a Jewish woman, and she suggested this name, and she said, if I were to read a book and this had a name, I would definitely pick up.
Okay.
So, and it kind of made sense because I have picked up a lot of lullabies and songs from different countries
Hmm.
and translated them.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
and
you, yeah, you were
yeah,
saying
please go
something.
ahead. Yeah, and
So,
I think during this genocides, a lot of songs were woven and a
okay.
lot of songs were sung that helped people uh, through the difficult times. And I think it has a lot of ethos and pathos
Hmm.
in them. Yeah,
And you call it an elegy. So I want to know
it's an
why.
elegy. Isn't it a tribute?
Okay.
So it's a
So
tribute, yeah.
have you chosen some kind of like some sort of real characters, or is it like all research based? I know it's research based, of course, but are there any real characters, or it's all imaginative and you have fictionalized everything?
No, no, all of them are real characters. People I've met in different
Okay.
times of my life, but obviously not. And I've fictionalized a lot of a few from my imagination.
Hmm.
I have brought out very human-like attributes, like a person may be good and or bad, like a black or white from different person's perspective.
Hmm.
I could be somebody's angels and somebody's demon.
True.
So there is no good and bad to a character. You know,
Yeah,
it's all situation based. Yeah. So
that's true.
that
Okay.
way.
So, would you like to read something from your book that will give some
Oh,
idea to the audience?
okay, so I am a Bengali. I'm a very thorough Bengali, and I'll read something which is. I think you'll relate to it. I'll wear my glasses because then I can't see.
40s, of course. I have also got my
Oh,
glasses.
yeah. So, okay. So this is about the main character. Her name is Meghali. So Meghali, she is. So she's a single child because of our, she's a posthumous child, of course. And when she is growing up, her mother is doesn't love her. So she has this absent mother, though alive, but at the backdrop of Bhasha Andolan. So I'll just read up something from there.
Sure.
Okay, here goes. My mother, Shuroma, was an orphan raised by a childless couple who found her, a guileless, innocent little girl, on the banks of the river Shuroma. She was educated, playful, and full of mirth. But the mother I remember was incredulous and cynical. Widowed at 20, she carried a heavy burden of unexplained malice within her. My parents had promised each other to have children, at least a handful. They were inseparable, and the love they shared brought joy and laughter that seeped into every corner of the house. Then suddenly, everything changed. It felt as though a gust has swept happiness out of every corner of her life, leaving her in desolation. She felt cheated. She wrapped herself in a cloak of agony and angst, as if she had died along with my father. Different tales were told about her father. Some said the police had killed Baba and her and three other comrades, then threw their bodies into the Meghna, while others claimed to have seen them dive into the river, swim across the delta. Surviving the estuarine crocodiles or the monstrous tigers that swam long distances in search of prey seemed nothing but a preposterous thought. But hope is a dangerous thing. But my mother clung to it for a long time after receiving the news of Baba's death. Every afternoon, Ma would go to the ghat and sit there for hours staring at the horizon, hoping against hope that Baba would somehow swim back from the impossible. Ma remained in her room every day, and I watched her as she sauntered through the corridor for her noon shower. I sat outside the bathroom, waiting until the sound of the water dwindled. Then I hid behind the curtain of the khabar ghar. Khabar ghar is dining room. As soon as I heard her unbolt the keel, keel is the wooden peg that was a very typical thing. I watched her with a mix of awe and bewilderment. She bore a close resemblance to Lokhi Thakur, goddess Lakshmi, in our Thakur ghar, clad in a somber sari, wrapped around her delicate, frail body like ivy. Her almond-shaped eyes with long lashes always appeared sad, swollen with loneliness. She loosely wound her long, black, wet hair in a gamcha as she glided her wet feet left fluid steps. Once she went inside a room, I came out of hiding, tiptoeing into the room. My little footsteps blending into hers. My mother hung her saris on the clothesline in the veranda. Every evening she would open the tea door, tilting her neck like a crane, carefully pulling the sari out and then folding it neatly. I wondered if I could ever fold a sari with deftness that came so naturally to her. My mother's room always sparked my curiosity. I peeped inside while the maids swept her. Occasionally, I, I'd catch a glimpse of a bed, two pillows always neatly arranged to each other. I wondered if my father visited her at night in her dreams. At other times, I'd see a bookshelf that held many books that were once my father's. But perhaps she read them too. Once in a while, I'd see her windows open, especially in autumn and winter noon, where the sun would stealthily make its way into the room, giving it a distinct aroma. It seemed happier. My mother spent much of her time in splendid and almost glorious isolation. Sometimes I wondered if she too might have had imaginary friends. Did they travel between the earth and the heaven as messengers between two disparate worlds? Did they amuse her with 100 stories of heaven? I often wondered as a child.
That was interesting. And you gave me a glimpse of a Bengali household and everything.
Isn't it? Yeah, I grew up in a household like that. The kheel and this typical khabar ghar and thakur ghar and
Absolutely, yeah.
snane ghar. Yeah, yeah.
So
So people
wonderful.
who like Bengali literature might
Hmm.
really enjoy this book.
Yeah, yeah. Acha, tell me about the book launch. Did you plan it in your head before? Because the aesthetic, the environment, and everything, it was so eye catching. And I also kind of like that kind of environment. So I wanted to know, have you planned it earlier before even the book has
No,
come out?
no.
Okay.
I always dreamt of it. So I'm a big manifester of things. I never
Hmm.
planned a book launch like that, but I always dreamt that it is going to be in a place like that. So, because I had grown up in Pondicherry, this person who hosted me for the book show, that is Mr. Lalit Verma, he is a very old family friend of my parents'. So when I told him about it, he was more than happy to host it. And I've been blessed with a few friends who drove down, and one was a saxophonist, the other was a handpanist, and both of them played, and it was a very beautiful, mystical evening.
Yeah,
You know, it was very
I could
beautiful.
sense
Yeah,
that. I actually felt that was more
yeah.
like a dream book launch.
It
If I
was.
could have one.
I could. You will always have one.
I still couldn't have my book launch properly physically of the Red Ganges, my novel. So I'm just planning maybe sometime because I
Maybe you
also
should
need
do
a
it by the
crowd.
colleges.
Let's see. Fingers
Yeah.
crossed. Okay. Okay, so tell me one thing. You have done solo traveling as we were talking. So you have written that you have gained a lot of understanding on hidden histories. So I want to know that do you plan to write something on this as well, something like non-fiction in the future?
I'm already writing my second one.
Okay.
So yeah, so there is so this particular the next book that I'm writing is about uh, one is an Afghani tribe where they do there's something called bacha posh.
Okay.
So essentially, one girl child is made to dress up like a boy. They are tired like a boy. They need to meet like a female, like a male, till they hit puberty.
Okay.
So and everything in that book, in that story, is on the color blue. So the names, the walls of the house. The second book is based in Bangla. Is a Bengali story, where let's say it's about widow remarriage,
Hmm.
and we link it to Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar as well as Raja Ram Mohan Roy.
Okay.
Like somehow I'm kind of linking it up. And the third one is it's a horror story, which is based
So
in the
these are
color.
like three different books you're writing.
No, no, no. There are three different stories in one.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, but on different hues.
Okay. So you're
Yeah,
going to compile an anthology. Wonderful.
anthology. Yes, yes. So.
Okay. Now, yeah, yeah, you're saying something.
Yeah, and the history bit. So Afghanistan and Iran and Persia has a lot of history, and
Hmm.
I'm bringing that. There's
Okay.
more to just what we see right now. So let's bring out old time history as well.
Okay. Now, I want to know one thing. I'm really curious to know about this. That you've written your book, and after that, you submitted it for, of course, for editing and also to publishing houses. So, how much was that time you took, to submit the manuscript and then also getting it to into paperback? So, what was the time span?
Almost about 2 years, and it was a very tedious journey till I met Loka. Lopamudra Banerjee. Till I met her, it was a very tedious journey and excruciatingly painful because to get the essence of what I was wanting to write, and I had failed twice earlier with different editors, but Lopa got the essence because she's a Bengali as well. So she knew what I was trying to write, and she got the feel of what I was trying to portray and what was behind the context. So that was a bit difficult part. And once that happened, I decided to go hybrid and because traditional publishing sometimes becomes very long and tedious and the essence of the book is sometimes lost. I It's completely my take. I could be
No,
wrong here,
I
but
agree with you. I know I have been there. So finally, I
you have
decided that
been.
I'll be a publisher because I've been
Yes.
there. I have submitted and you get rejections, and then there's like, they will ask you to change and all. So, you lose that authenticity. So finally, I
Yeah,
decided that.
because it's my story to tell. So if I have started, so it's my story to tell. So then I went hybrid. Now, by and by, people are reading it. Lopa finished editing and amazing. Her knack for or her eye for detail is very nice. She was such an amazing editor to work with. Let put
Mm,
it straight out there, because somebody to leave the point of view and not make it a pushover is very
mm,
important. And she
true.
completely gave me that freedom that when I told her that I wanted it a certain way, she gave me that freedom to do it that way. So yeah.
Wonderful. And what was her reaction when she read your manuscript?
So she kept on telling me there's a lot of potential. That is something that has been a constant. She has been saying that this is a very good read and this is good storytelling. And so my book has a lot because genocides. What I feel is people underplay it. The
Mm,
any war, women are the baits of war, and it
yeah.
affects the bodies of women are where the war games are played, right? So there's a lot of
Mm,
rape, violence, and I think we all know that whether it is in Bangladesh or it has happened in the Turkish, I mean the Turkish Armenian clan or the Mau Mau uprising or for what is happening in Gaza, we already know.
mm,
Women
yeah.
are victims of it, right?
Mm,
As
true.
Amrita Pritam has very famously said. So, for her to absorb it as a reader first, I think she was a little appalled, and she said it really hurts my soul.
Okay.
So, Mona Lisa, if you don't mind, can I just read a very short poem for
Please go ahead.
uh,
Please go ahead.
this is for the rape victims.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
please go ahead.
so yeah, and then I will say a little thing about it. Okay, so here goes. She died in pain, while he lingered in cold apathy. No kingdom come, no will be done. Just silence beneath your savage hand. We broke, bent, and broken, ached under the weight of violence unnamed. Jyoti, Asifa, Priyanka, Momita. Echoes of souls now lost to the wind. A million of others forgotten by time. One after another they fell. Their cries swallowed the whole. By gaze of soulless atrocity. I have I think it's very important to acknowledge because I have been a victim of one, so I know that it takes a lot of time to recover. I have just named four. Jyoti, as in our, when people just call her Nirbhaya, and Asifa was a little young girl from Katwa in Jammu, where she was brutally raped inside a temple that too. Dr. Priyanka Priyanka Reddy was in Hyderabad, and Momita very recently we know. So some of the proceeds are going for a charity or let's say an NGO which my mother had started for rape victims to fight cases. So this was something which was I was very sure about because we cannot afford about. I mean, people cannot afford a lawyer's fee and the entire battle and the struggle. So what we could best do is help them fight their cases because they might want to speak out.
True.
Yeah, so this is my little contribution to them and help them have a dignified life.
Wonderful.
I think,
So, one thing I want to ask, like you have seen your journey, you have been into writing, ghost writing, and then now you have published your paperback. So, I want to know that what kind of suggestion you would like to give to newcomers, aspiring authors, what kind of route they can choose, what you feel that could be, actually good for them.
there's something which I keep telling everybody. Right, right. The editors are there to correct, but the voice has to be out.
Hmm.
It's very important to write because it's becoming a forgotten art, I think. And always remember, pen is mightier than the sword. So write, editors, and you will have people who will help you. But
Hmm.
don't forget because there are roadblocks. If I didn't, you should. Yeah.
Actually, one thing I also want to ask here, that would you agree that the attention span of reading, or that for that matter to other writers, if we ask that, is it really something scary, or it's good that in the future also paperbacks and books are going to be there in the market, because of the digital world, I think reading has decreased.
Yes, I do agree that reading has gone down because they have now. I think people have very flimsy focus. It just kind of not
Hmm.
more than 5 to 10 seconds, but the readers will always be there. The ones who like to read and people who like reading, they will always remain, irrespective of whether there is web series or OTT or any TT. Yeah. So readers always exist. I'm sure
That's
Shakespeare and Chaucer and Rabindranath also might have thought about the same thing, but they didn't. I think we shouldn't.
so they, yeah, keep on writing. That should be our motto.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because if we stop writing,
Okay, now
how will
let's
people
come.
ever come to know? Sorry, sorry. Please go ahead.
No, no, please go ahead. Please go ahead. Because there's some kind
I
of technical glitch happening here.
I guess.
That's why.
So I
Yeah.
feel people would never know about us this
Hmm.
generation, say 100 years from now, had if we don't write those. It's a memory. It's like we're imprinting, etching memory in history with our stories.
True.
So, yeah.
And how do you plan to promote your book further? Because it is a tedious task when it comes to promotion.
I have contacted a few book bloggers for promotion. I'm getting good response, but then everything costs money, and I wanted to take its own course
Okay.
instead of. I think every book has its own destiny.
Hmm. I think you
So
should enjoy the journey.
yeah, I'm enjoying the journey. Like when I read and I reread, or people say that, okay, this really touched me. Like somebody just said that, my God, I'm in the 21st chapter and I can't stop. So it was nice. And
Wonderful.
then there was another one who said that, you're not trying to force language on people. It's very effortlessly there. So
Yeah.
I would take that as a compliment.
Absolutely. That's more important, because if you have to sit with a dictionary, then all the charm and every fun is gone.
Yes, yes. So for me, that was a very huge compliment. She said that you very effortlessly thrown in words, and even if I don't understand the word, but I will know the context, and I will probably place it as, this is a synonym of this. So I was like, thank you very much. My effort, my idea was not to sound like a. No, I feel a lot of authors they try to make simple lines very complicated to compete with the native writers.
I agree.
Yeah, but that can be done effortlessly with your own style.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so ready for the rapid fire? There's some fun questions I've created, and you
Okay,
can be monosyllabic.
okay.
Okay. So, what are you currently reading?
I am reading two books actually. One is Elif Shafak's The Skies Have There Are Rivers in the Sky. This one, and I'm also reading Rabindranath Tagore, The Best of
Okay.
Tagore. Yeah, this one.
Oh, wow,
Yeah.
wonderful. So, this is not a rapid fire. I'm just asking otherwise. So, do you follow any kind of reading ritual? Do you have that reading time, particularly in a day? You do that?
No, no. I read very randomly.
Okay.
I'm very random. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So the next question is: do you have any favorite historical fiction?
Favorite historical fiction: The Boy in Blue Pajamas.
Okay. Yeah. There's a movie also on that.
Yes, and I've also seen the That List of Auschwitz.
I have
So
to check
those
those
two
out. I
movies.
haven't seen.
Yeah, so they're very nice. And yes, I did. There's another one called The Mirror City by Chitra Banerjee. You must look her up. I've never found another book, but she's from Bangladesh, and during the 1971 of how she was like, oh, it's beautiful.
So, who is your favorite Indian author? You can name any contemporary or maybe classic.
Sharat Chandra.
Okay. So, which is your favorite book?
50 Shades, no, I won't say 50 Shades of 40 Rules of Love.
Okay. Oh, I have to read this book. So these new names coming for me because this world is so big, so many books, so many authors. You can't read in one time.
I mean, you can never finish books, right? Current favorite. I mean, when I was a child, probably Shakespeare's Tempest was my favorite.
Okay.
But when I was going through a very difficult phase of my life, a friend of mine had given me this book about 10 years back, and I was very drawn to Sufism and dervish poems and everything. So she said, "Why don't you read this? And you will more so for Shams Tabrib's and Rumi, their relationship that they share as a guru and this thing, and the love that they share between each other." So
Okay.
yeah.
Nice. Okay. Any other hobby other than writing?
Yes, I have a couple. So, because thanks to my personality disorder, I mean mood disorder, I love creating things. So, when I used to go into this manic phase, or the depressive phase, one way of moving me was to do something. So I started creating, and I'm fairly good at painting.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. So I paint, I create things.
So the artwork on your book cover is it made by you?
So artwork, illustration, she's done it. Okay, but
Okay.
the idea was mine, and the rest of it is also mine.
Okay. Wonderful. Yeah, because it is different from the mainstream kind of books that we see. So I really wanted to ask this.
Yeah, because this is the Meghalaya I saw,
Okay.
and she looks
Nice.
very similar to my sister.
Okay. Now, so the next question is: do you have any favorite quote that you apply to your life?
Quote: um, "Don't worry, be happy."
Okay, that's nice. Mine is: we are all walking each other home. I really
Yes,
live by this
aren't
quote.
we? Yeah, I
Okay.
absolutely, and I because a lot of people worry a lot. Yeah, and we forget to be happy.
Hmm.
So this is
True.
something which is I kind of.
And I think 40s is a phase where you go through so many crises, midlife crisis, then this OTD thing, OTD OCD. I spelled it wrong, I guess.
OCD.
OCD, yeah. And then so many other things, depression, anxiety, then perimenopause. So you need to be happy. Because it
Yeah,
really.
I made self love has become like my mantra. I mean, I've started. A lot of people call me borderline narcissist. I said, but then if I'm not a narcissist, I mean, yeah, my way of seeing is that I have to be happy to make up people happy around me.
Hmm,
So,
true. And the last is, do you like to watch movies and any movie that touched your heart deeply?
there is this movie. Yes, it really did touch my heart very deeply. It was Angelina Jolie's. The heart of a lion or a lion's heart or something on the Pearl murder. The Pearl. What is that guy's name? The journalist who was murdered in by the Mighty Heart. Yeah, there was this Afghan. There was this. I think a French, a German journalist who was murdered, beheaded, basically
Hmm.
by ISIS or Al Qaeda. So, and how he forgives them.
Hmm.
It's amazing.
So this brings me to the end of the rapid fire. Now I want to know one general question: that what is your day-to-day routine is like? Like you are a morning person or a night owl? You prefer to write in the night time or daytime? What kind of routine do you follow?
I am a very night person because also have insomnia, so I can't sleep without a sedative. So, and I love the silence of the night. Uh, that is when I feel that I'm more alive. The best work comes at night. So during the day, I have a couple of things to take care of.
Hmm.
So day, I'm not really dedicated to writing, but yes, night definitely. Post 9 is my time.
And what is your exact, time, like hour, that you feel that you're most creative at that point?
I think post midnight, early
I
morning.
I was expecting this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I take a lot of. I walk. I have a very huge garden, so I walk in the garden, and again you can hear birds chirp. It's
In the
something that you.
night, in the
Yes, they're
morning,
amazing. Early morning, like three
early
o'clock
morning.
onwards, they start chirping, and then it's amazing. The nocturnals are. I'm a nocturnal, so I find them a lot of solace in being with them.
Okay. And you are now fully settled in Chennai, and do you still plan to move ahead and experience more, like surroundings around you, and then you also want to write? I mean, what I'm trying to say is, do you plan to write any book for that? If you have to travel, would you do that?
Yeah, I have lived almost across India thanks to my husband. So I will have to still travel with him for a few more years till he retires. We have a very beautiful house in the Nilgiris where I plan to finally settle down. But I do travel for writing and and also write for traveling. So it's like it goes parallelly. Yeah, I do. I absolutely enjoy it. It's nice
Wonderful.
when you do that.
So, Pramira, it was really wonderful talking to you, knowing you more, and also I wish you all the very best with your books, songs from them.
Thank you so
I hope
much.
it really does well and it touches many hearts. Congratulations to you once again.
Thank you so much, Mona Lisa. I need to thank you for this lovely, lovely, lovely thing. I mean, season one, season four, now episode one. Oh my God, I almost feel like a celebrity.
And I have to tell you that season 10 is what I do. I invite all the guests that I have interviewed. I do 10 episodes per season. So, for the last episode, that's more like a celebration episode where we discuss various things. So, I wish you could be there also.
Absolutely. I'd love to be there.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much, Mona
Bye.
Lisa.
Have a great evening.
You too. You too. Thank you.
Bye. So, I was talking to Promira Banerjee. This is episode 1 that happened today, and she is just a book old. She has released her debut novel, Songs from Then. Go ahead, pick it up from Amazon, read it. It talks about human genocide and many other issues that will really stir your heart and touch you deeply. And read it, review it, because that's what we should do as readers. Support our fellow writers if you're a writer out there. And also, please follow my page and also subscribe to my YouTube channel. I will drop the link in description and also the link of the author's book. So bye, take care, have a great evening.